Coronation Street cheating shock as Todd is stunned by Theo's betrayal. Life has been far from easy for Todd ever since he fell for Theo. At first, he tried to excuse Theo's manipulative nature and temper, putting it down to the trauma he suffered from horrific conversion therapy. After the breakdown of his marriage and his complicated involvement with Noah Headley, the disturbed man behind that same conversion therapy who later died, Todd found more reasons to justify Theo's increasingly toxic behavior. However, things took a terrifying turn when Theo's manipulation turned violent. Just last month, Theo crossed the line by physically assaulting Todd, trying to force-feed him kebab meat. Though Todd threw him out, Theo managed to worm his way back in, keeping up the abuse through emotional control rather than physical harm. During a night out in Manchester's gay village, Todd ran into an ex-boyfriend of Theo's who confirmed he had a pattern of abuse. The revelation sparked another argument between the pair, after which Theo vanished without a word. Fully aware that Todd would panic, Theo deliberately stayed out of sight for days, only returning when he had the chance to rescue Asha Alahan and revel in the praise that followed. Ever the manipulator, he used the moment to win Todd over once more. As Noah's funeral looms, Todd lies to Theo, claiming he can't attend because of work. In reality, he's heading to the hospital for bowel cancer tests. He confides in Billy Mayhew, asking him to keep the appointment a secret to avoid stressing Theo. Fortunately, George Shuttleworth catches wind of the truth and insists on accompanying Todd to the hospital for support. Meanwhile, Theo secures a profitable business deal with newcomer Pete and Gary Windass, but his temper flares when he spots Billy getting a call from Todd and stepping outside to answer it. The next morning, Todd returns home hungover and explains that he crashed at Billy's, assuring Theo that nothing happened. But before he can finish apologizing, Pete walks out of the bathroom, leaving Todd speechless. Todd lashes out, accusing Theo of cheating, but Theo remains icy and unapologetic, throwing Todd's own lies back in his face. Furious and devastated, Todd snaps and tells Theo to pack up and leave for good. Later at the Rovers, Theo approaches him carefully, trying to patch things up, but Todd, done with forgiveness, begins plotting a plan of revenge. Has Todd finally opened his eyes to who Theo really is? Or will Theo once again twist things to pull Todd back under his spell? Coronation Street star reunites with fan-favorite co-star and shares sweet message. Two beloved Coronation Street stars recently crossed paths at the Attitude Awards, where they captured a heartwarming moment together. Charlie shared a photo of himself and Samia on his Instagram story, writing, "I love this woman so much." Samia later reposted it to her own story, delighting fans with the reunion. Charlie's time on the cobbles saw his character, Marcus, deeply connected to Samia's character, Maria. What began as a close friendship between the two eventually turned into a surprising romance. Their on-screen bond started when Marcus, a sonographer, performed a scan for a pregnant Maria after she became worried about her baby's movements. Sadly, Maria had suffered a miscarriage, and Marcus supported her through the heartbreaking process of being induced to deliver her stillborn child. Over time, their friendship deepened, and Maria developed feelings for Marcus, despite him having always identified as gay. Maria went on to date Jason Grimshaw, while Marcus was still nursing heartbreak from his split with Sean Tully. But the attraction between Maria and Marcus didn't fade. When Maria found a lump in her breast, Marcus went with her to the hospital. After discovering it was benign, emotions ran high, and they shared a passionate kiss, soon leading to them sleeping together. Despite skepticism from friends and family, the couple's relationship blossomed for a time, with Marcus taking on a caring role in Maria's son Liam's life. But everything changed when Todd Grimshaw returned to Weatherfield. The once kind Todd came back bitter and manipulative, ignoring his mother Eileen's warnings to stay away from Marcus. Todd made it his mission to seduce Marcus, and succeeded. Racked with guilt, Marcus began looking for a home for himself, Maria, and Liam, but Todd had other plans. He schemed to expose their affair, luring Maria to a show home and ensuring she caught him and Marcus in the act. Heartbroken, Maria refused to forgive Marcus and threw him out. Marcus later left for London but briefly rekindled things with Todd, unaware that Todd had already admitted to Tony Stewart that he was only using Marcus for his own gain. Todd soon cheated on Marcus and cruelly dumped him, leaving Marcus humiliated and ready to leave Weatherfield behind. Before his departure, Maria visited him, and the two made peace, parting on good terms. While Maria remains a familiar face on the street, Marcus hasn't been seen since. Could a return be on the cards? When asked about the possibility, Charlie said, "I'd never say never. On a show like Coronation Street, you always feel part of the family. I left because it didn't fit my life at the time. My kids were small and were based in London. But they're older now, and if there was a good reason for Marcus to come back, sure. Why not?" Core blimey, Corey fans shocked to learn two soap icons secretly dated for 5 years after actor bragged about sleeping with 100 women. Coronation Street fans have been left stunned after discovering that two of the show's biggest stars were once an item, despite appearing on the soap nearly a decade apart. The pair in question are Phil Middlemiss, who played 90s heartbreaker Des Barnes, and Allison King, best known today as Carla Connor. Reddit users recently dug up an old newspaper piece from October 8, 1995, which revealed that the two were madly in love during Phil's Corey heyday. At the time, Allison was just 22 years old and not yet famous, described in the story simply as a surf shop girl. In the same interview, Phil, then known for his ladies' man reputation, claimed he had bedded 100 women before finding true love with Allison. Fans couldn't believe it. One wrote, "No way," while another added, "How random." A third commented, "I still can't get my head around this," and another simply said, "Small world." Reports suggest the couple dated for 5 years, with Phil telling the Scottish Daily Record, "I've never been happier. She's a wonderful girl. I love her to death." The two reportedly met at a bar in Tenerife in March 1995 and split in 2000. Speaking later about the relationship, Phil admitted, "I was in love with Allie. She's the only person I've ever really loved, but she was working in London and I was in Manchester. In another life, if I'd been a bus driver and she'd worked at the local baker's, we'd have got married and had kids by now." Corey viewers will remember Phil's on-screen alter ego Des Barnes, who ruled the cobbles throughout the 90s as a charming Lothario. He was married to Natalie Barnes, played by Loose Women star Denise Welch, and famously tangled with Raquel Wolstenholme, played by Happy Valley legend Sarah Lancashire. Des's jealousy led to fiery confrontations, including him sabotaging Raquel and Curly Watt's engagement party out of spite. Phil left Coronation Street in 1998 when Des was killed off, later pursuing other roles, but life after the soap wasn't easy. In 2012, he revealed he'd been declared bankrupt after a film project he'd invested his savings in collapsed during the financial crisis. He told the Manchester Evening News, "It was partly funded by me, but I didn't have the money to finish it. Filming stopped 3/4 of the way through. It's been tough, 3.5 years with no income. I had to borrow from family and friends." As for Allison King, she joined Coronation Street in 2006, 6 years after the couple split, and almost a decade after Phil's exit. Her character Carla Connor, the formidable boss of Underworld, quickly became a fan favorite, known for her fiery romances, power struggles, and battles with addiction. Over the years, Allison's powerful performances have earned her several honors, including Best Actress at the British Soap Awards in 2012. Now, decades later, fans are only just realizing that two Corey legends once shared a real-life love story of their own. Coronation Street airs on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and streams on ITVX.